If you don't do anything else with Google Classroom, one of the best things you can do is use the Stream tab, which is basically just like a running commentary of the class. You can send notifications. If you post an assignment, it'll show up in the Stream tab just as a news event. And you can actually make sure that your students get notifications. In fact, by default, they will get email notifications anytime you post to the stream. But there are a couple settings that we can make to make sure that the stream works in a way that's going to be best for you and for your class. So let's actually look at how the stream works, and then I'll show you the settings that we're talking about. Now, I'm logged in here as Bob Nugget, so I'm the teacher of this class. And if we go into the class, the tab that you automatically go into is the Stream tab. And this is basically just, like I said, a running commentary of the class. So if you wanted to share something with the class, in fact, there's a note right here. If you want to share something with the class, we just click on there. We can say, don't forget to feed your starters every day. Starters being sourdough starters. Remember, this is a sourdough baking class. Don't forget to feed your starters every day. And then if you have multiple classes that you're teaching, you can specify where it goes. We only have the one, so it's grayed out. We can't select a different class. But you can also make sure that just certain students will see this, or you can select all students and it'll go to all the students in your class will see it. So you do that. You can also attach files to this, or attach multiple things. You can attach a file that's in Google Drive and it will just share a Google Drive link. You can share a link to any URL on the internet, like sourdoughstarter.com. Actually, don't go there. I have no idea if that's a real place. You can attach a file directly from your computer, or you can attach a YouTube link directly from here. Now, you're probably thinking, what's the difference between a YouTube link and a regular URL? Well, if you click on this, it'll allow you to search for a file, search for a video in this little pop-up window. So it's just, you don't have to know the actual URL of the YouTube thing. You can search for it. So that's the difference there. Otherwise, you could technically post a link that is a YouTube link and it would still show up just fine. But you can attach things to there. When you click post, it'll go live. But here's something that you should get used to when you're using Google Classroom, whether it's in the stream or when you're making assignments. If you click post, it's going to be live for everyone to see. You can't unpost something. If you were to go in here and save it as a draft, it would only show up for you. It wouldn't be live, so students couldn't see it. If you scheduled it, it would schedule it for a future time, and then you can change the schedule however you want, and you can make edits and stuff like that. Once it's posted, though, you can't unpost it and schedule it for later. If you'd rather say, oops, I didn't want them to see that yet, you'll have to delete it, create a new one, and then schedule it. Now, I want this to appear right away, so I just clicked post. And it said, don't forget to feed your starters every day. And it just shows up as another item in this list of things that are going on. And every student in your class is going to be notified of this. If they're using the app on their phone, they're going to get a pop-up notification that says, hey, Bob Nugget posted something in the Sourdough Baking 101 class. And it'll be a link to take you right to here. They can look actually in their email. Let's actually go over to one of our students' emails. So here I am. This is the Powers family. We are a student in Sourdough Baking 101. And if we go in here, we can see it. But we should have an email waiting too. And the emails take a little while to get out, so it might take a couple minutes before it arrives. But just click refresh, and there, sure enough. Okay, so it arrived. Everybody will get an email notification by default that there's something listed. In fact, it'll even show them a preview, and then if you click open, it'll take them directly to the class where that notification was put. Okay, so don't forget to feed your starters every day. And here's where it says class comments. Okay, now a class comment is just that, where a class member like this, the Powers family, could say, cool, I fed mine some chicken nuggets. Leave a comment. Gotta click post there. And so now there's a comment that Sean Powers left on this post right here. Okay, so if we go back, so now Bob Nugget sees, sure enough, Bob Nugget, the teacher, sees that there is a comment on there. Now, you may not want to have students leave comments because they might be sarcastic people like Sean Powers. This guy seems like a real jerk. Obviously, he didn't feed his sourdough starter chicken nuggets. You may not want them to do it. Another issue is that by default, all students are going to be able to post to the stream. So here, back over here, let's go to Sourdough Baking 101. Notice I'm still Sean Powers here, so I could actually say, I find that starters like to have barbecue sauce with their flour every day. Okay, again, this Sean Powers guy is kind of real adversarial, kind of a jerk, but it goes out and everybody sees this comment, or this post actually, that Sean Powers made. Not only was he able to comment down here on a post, but he was able to actually create his own post and post it to everybody. And then everybody in the group is going to get an email notification, and it could get really ugly really quick. So as a teacher, if we come back over to Bob Nugget here, as a teacher, Bob can go in to this little gear up there and go to the class details, and here is where you can make some changes, right? I disabled that code so we didn't have random people on the internet joining our class, but the stream settings, so a student can post and comment. There's two other options. Student can only comment, which means only the teacher can post something, but students will be able to reply. So if the teacher wants to hear feedback from students on something they post, you could do this. Or you could say only teachers can post or comment. So if we do that and we click save, now a student is not going to be able to comment at all. So if we go back over here, let's do a quick refresh. Notice there's no place for anybody to comment, and there's no way that Sean Powers is able to start a new comment at all. So again, if you do nothing else with Google Classroom, I encourage you to take advantage of the Stream tab, because it's a great way to get notifications out to your students. And by default, notifications are turned on. They can turn them off so they don't get email notifications, but by default, they will get notifications whenever you post something in the Stream tab. And just think about how you want your students to be able to use that. Do you want them to be able to post? Do you want them to be able to comment? Thankfully, you can change those settings per classroom, and you'll be able to make the settings fit to whatever your classroom is going to best be served by. I hope this has been informative for you, and I'd like to thank you for viewing.